Welcome again. This is Brother G coming to you with another video message, another video teaching. Who are biblical sorcerers? Who are biblical sorcerers? One of the questions that we really and truly, the church or Christian in general, have to answer, and those who are coming into the fold, as it is said, they have to understand that Moses was not a magician, aka a sorcerer. Many believers of the biblical text, when they interpret the things that Moses did, the things that Jesus did, the things that Elijah did, the things that Elisha did, the things that Samson did, the things that, those guys did, they all are sorcerer to some degree. Samson is a kin, or in relationship to Greek. Is it the Greek Hercules? Yes, he's a king. He's a kin, or he's in relationship to Hercules. If you understand the interpretation as Hercules, or there's another Greek mythology. I don't know if I'm getting them mixed up, but it's either Roman or Greek mythology, and sometimes Hebrew mythology. I even went to school and learned about Gilgamesh, which was so eerily similar to Samson, Hercules, and I think it's Achilles. I can't pronounce that one, or Achilles, or whatever it is. The question we have to answer in 2024 is, was Moses a lawgiver, or was he a magician, aka sorcerer? And this goes for all the names that I just mentioned. And so in this biblical video, in this video message or this video teaching, I will show you and bring us, if those who hear this video are willing to come out of darkness and into the marvelous light of truth and reality, you can hear a much more clear, representative interpretation of what was given, what was forced on us, or what was subtly give to us. Subtly, that's the word, to give to us. Whichever way where it's here, and it's proliferated, and new people is coming into the fold, old people is moving out of the fold. But there must be some understanding to show that not all of us are nuts, are crazy, are misled. Anyways, so the question that we're going to answer in this video message, this video teaching is, was Moses a lawgiver or a magician, aka a sorcerer? We have to answer these questions after so many years. That was Moses, and we're going to get into some of the scriptures, and we're going to show you plainly that this is not what it meant. And if that's what it meant, I don't believe he was a magician or a sorcerer. Let me add that to it. I don't believe Moses was a magician or a sorcerer. I don't believe that the prophet Aaron was a sorcerer or a magician. I don't believe that Elijah was a magician or a sorcerer. I don't believe that Elijah took a big actual sword and killed 400 other sorcerer. That is mythology. That is myth. That is a lie that has descended down on high to confuse us perpetually. But some of us As the saying would goes, you can fool us one time, but you can't fool us. So let's get into it. Let me preface this video message, this video teaching, with this verse of Hosea. My people are destroyed for they lack knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. This is rough. This is rough. Now, here is my belief. I do not believe that God rejected his people. This is just, I believe this is a way of writing and constructing what they think or believe in their concept that God left people alone or left his people. I don't believe that. Unequivocally, I don't believe that. It is as what Paul says in Romans. This is the part that I believe. Paul says this. Because the people that he was speaking to, which was the Roman Jewish people, they forgot God. God left them to their reprobate mind. And even in the context of what Paul says, God left them to their reprobate mind. My concept doesn't jive with that. My concept that is this: God is always present. God is always here. It's only we, his people, must acquiesce to the truth of the reality, what they are seeing and what the Spirit is teaching them. God never, ever will ever leave his people alone. Ever. It's really his people leave God. So this interpretation that God leave them and their children, it's really a consequence of the parents not understanding a particular thing that leave them their children open to the wiles of the devil and also them. So God, my concept is that God will never, ever, will ever leave people. People leave God. People leave off the truth. So here, I'm just going to preface this video with, my people are destroyed because they lack knowledge. Knowledge is one of the key. Knowledge is one of the key, and that's what I come to disperse, what I've realized and what I've understand, that we lack knowledge. And so, because we lack knowledge, we therefore don't have understanding, which would give birth to wisdom. So you see, because we lack knowledge, it doesn't move into the place of understanding where now we become wise as the serpent. And so therefore, that's my preface. I don't believe that God ever, the Spirit of truth, ever leave. It is always there to who is willing to receive it. But now, lift up thy rod and stretch out thy hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. Exodus 14:16. Why am I saying this? This is the verse and the surrounding verses and the whole story of Moses coming out of Egypt, and Egyptian and Pharaoh coming behind them, as the movie depicts, which is mythology. And he's running and they reach the Red Sea, and the people were crying to Moses, and Moses was scared too. Yeah. And the people were scared too. And they said, pray to God. And Moses prayed to God, and God said, look, what's that you have in your hand? Stretch forth thy rod over the sea, right? Stretch forth thy rod over the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel shall walk on dry land. So now, as technology has arrived, but there was, whether there was technology, there was sorcery of words. There was sorcery of teachers, meaning sorcery is just believing a lie and moving according to a lie. That is sorcery. Or illusion that we see on TV, or illusion, or 3-card Monty, or it's illusion. It's basically a trick, a lie. So even before the advent, in our estimation, of technology, where we can see they could make a movie where you literally see Moses, I forgot the actor's name, stretch forth his rod and the sea open up. What that did for us is to visually see a mythology taking place in front of us, which now solidify our belief that Moses actually took a rod, maybe a stick. I don't know what kind of stick. Maybe it's a birch. I don't know what kind of stick. And he stepped forth the river, the sea, which we believe it was a deep sea or whatever. And he stretched forth, and the sea miraculously opened up. So we saw the video, we saw the movie, and what it did to us, to people who lack knowledge. And so therefore we didn't have understanding, and therefore we didn't advance to the place of wisdom in certain areas. We have wisdom in other things, but in certain areas. So it's not conclusive wisdom that they are dumb. They knew how to take care of themselves. I'm talking about the people I grew up with. They know how to take, but they lack the true knowledge or the full knowledge. Let's say it like that. And so they believe that a man took a rod and struck it over a sea, and the sea miraculously opened, and the people of Israel walked through on dry land. That is a myth. That is mythology. That is a lie. The question we will have to answer in centuries from now. And I believe, and I'm going to talk like Jesus, my word is going to stand, because what I'm saying, what I see, and what I've now realized, that we were living by sorcery, which is a lie interpretation given by who the hell no, I don't know who give it. But I'm coming to report the truth, the reality of what I see and now understand. That understanding or interpretation is mythology. What I want to give, and I'm going to equate this understanding to something more closer in history that is documented, to show you the power, as it would say, of Moses. And the question we're going to unravel is, was Moses a magician or a sorcerer, or was actually a lawgiver? So I'm going to use somebody in the American history, because let's keep it like that. I'm going to use some report on someone in American history, a type of Moses who had immense power. And do we really think that Moses was the only person just leading? Did he have a cabinet? Did he have people to assist him? Did he have people like Nathan around him, or he was just a single man? No, this is in American history. Robert Moses. I won't get too much into it. And it's actually the namesake of Moses. His name Robert Moses. This man was so influential. Influential mean powerful. He was, and he was authorized to. He was so powerful. He changed the landscape of New York City at that time, and his mark is still on the city. That's how powerful Robert Moses was. Did he change the rod? In this sense, is he uses his influence to have engineering and all these things and other part of the city and other governmental officials and people to extract, is that the word? Or to implement his idea of highways running through streets and valleys. This is not, I'm not talking about whether it was good or not. I'm just saying this is similar to the power of Moses when Moses divided the seed. If I would really tell you how powerful Moses is to divide the seed, that means Moses was so influential that he was able to divide nation. If anything, he was able to divide, listen to what I'm saying, divide nation. No wonder if you come into the United States, if you go to Jamaica, you go to any country, look how powerful the government is. They could divide their people into sections and zones, because this is indication of what Moses did. This is in relationship to how powerful Moses was. He was a lawgiver, not a magician or a sorcerer. And I'm just giving you a recent example of how powerful some men were and still is, that they can change the landscape of a country, a place, and even nation. Read the Old Testament, because that's where I drew my knowledge from and my understanding. And now wisdom now flew to me and said, bro, look, you're believing in a sorcery. Not anymore. When they had gone through the Isle of Paphos, they found a certain sorcerer, a false prophet, a Jew, whose name was Bar Jesus. Acts 13:16. As I've learned and I've grown up with, and I'm going to use my culture in the sense of what I was cultivated. Use some Old Testament, and I'm going to use some New Testament, and just in purse or within everything that we're talking about, we're just going to look at reality and just bring everything to light and make everything just nice. So here, Paul and him friends, them a walk through papers, them a run all over the place, them a preach, and as the saying would goes, I think I know better now, but as the saying would goes, they meet upon a certain sorcerer. This one is a real sorcerer, which tell lies, which create illusion through words and his preaching. Let's use it that way, right? Let's keep going. Watch this. Follow the understanding. Follow the knowledge. Watch this. Which was with the deputy of the country. You hear who? The sorcerer, the false prophet, a Jew, and Bar Jesus he was with? He was with the deputy of the country, Sergius Paulus, a prudent man, wise man, who called for Barabbas and Saul and desired to hear a word from them. So now, come on, people. You think that Barabbas and Saul was just like a little person in a corner store that preaching, and this guy who's the deputy of the country would hear about them and call them? Okay, if you believe that, then you believe that. Keep believing your theory. I will believe that Barabbas and Saul were not just a little man in a storefront church. They were in authority. Their name was published to certain degrees around the city. They are known. They are known people in the world of law and religious things. They are known. They are, if to this point, it seems to me that they are well known. Anyways, let's keep going. Please understand that a sorcerer is basically a liar, a illusionist. That's basically what a sorcerer is. It also say he was obviously a false prophet. A prophet indeed, because he's in the office of a prophet. He's a prophet indeed, like Balaam. Balaam was a sorcerer too. In other words, Balaam was a mere liar. And a Jew is, as we would want to say according to the New Testament and the Old, a Jew is a religion from the sect of Judah. So it's a religion and it's a religious belief. And of course, I don't know, it's theoretical who Bar Jesus, then his name would be. Let's keep going. So his name was Elymas, because this was by interpretation. He withstood Barabbas and Saul, seeking them to turn away the deputy from the faith. Then Saul, when he realized that he wants to keep the deputy from the faith, Saul looked upon him and filled with the power of the Holy Ghost, set his eyes upon him and said, "Oh, full of all subtlety." See, this is how we do a sorcery. They are using this as a story form to tell you what they are doing. "And all mischief, thou child of the devil, thou enemy of all righteousness, will thou not cease? Stop to pervert the right way of the Lord." In other words, the place that Elemias, the place that he sought, it was to influence the deputy from writing laws, codes, and statutes so it could benefit the people and it would be advantageous to him. That was his purpose. So if the deputy had come into the true faith of true understanding, he would learn how to even delegate. It said he was a prudent man, he was a wise man, but then he would be even more wiser by the understanding of the faith, so that he could actually reign over the people them in such a manner. Even the Old Testament say it, and we know it to be of truth, because it's true. When the righteous reign, the people rejoice. When the evil reign, the people gonna cry and murmur. That is basically what's going on here. So, those who have a veil on their eyes, do you really believe that Paul called upon the Holy Ghost and blinded Elemias with his powerful words and his powerful magic, with powerful magic, and blinded him for a season? Is that really what you think happened? This is immense power. It wonders. Sometimes then I would wonder, why didn't he do it with the beasts in Ephesus? Why didn't he blind those beasts in Ephesus? People of God, they're talking about laws. They're talking about principles. And a matter of fact, if I should say, Elemias was already blinded. He's still blinded because he couldn't see the truth. Those who are in sorcery, they are blinded. You don't really have to pronounce blindness upon people. If you go out in the street now of many cities, you see a lot of blind people. They may see in certain things, but they are blind. Even the New Testament said that. If your eyes is blind, meaning how dark the inside is, which is true. If you have a house and you close up all the windows, the inside of the house, that's why inside of the house is dark, and when you open the windows, light come in. It's just a reference to your understanding. So if you really think Paul had the power to blind Elemias, one has to wonder, why didn't he blind those beasts in Ephesus and other places? Keep believing a sorcery. Oh, Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the strangest thing. This, he's writing this to Israel, saying that the Assyrian will do this to them, right? You can read it to see the truth if that's what is there. And so, as Isaiah is saying, the rod of the Assyrian is God giving it to him, or it's a representative of God, and he's gonna beat them and trod them down and use them like prey and take their spoil. This is the way of the world. This idea is the way of the world. Whether you want to say it's God do it or not, it doesn't matter to me, because everybody in this place If you don't have wisdom, when the Assyrian come, they will kill you. If you don't have wisdom, if you don't have understanding, if you don't have knowledge, when the Assyrian came upon you, if you were in that city and you were in slick or wise like them, they will take your life. So whether the concept want to say God was their rod and he's instructing, that's not how my belief is. My belief is very simple and common. Anybody that is weak, whether it's a person or a nation, and you're weak and you don't have strong laws, and you don't have strong concept, you don't have codes, and you don't have stature, you will be a prey to any nation who is stronger. That's just the way of the world. The way of the world is, if you are weak, even as an individual, people will take advantage of you. And then when you move it onto the macro scale, the larger scale, the weaker the nation is more opportunity for lions, it's the more opportunity for eagles, it's the more opportunity for dragons, it's the more opportunity for beasts, it's the more opportunity for false prophet to come in and divide you and take your spoil and treat you and enslave you. This is the way of the world. This is it. So to finish up, who are biblical sorcerer? You really gonna say Moses is a biblical sorcerer? No. Moses was a lawgiver. Moses divided the Red Sea. That's how powerful Moses was. He divided nation. He was able to divide people. You know what the Red Sea is? The Red Sea is angry nation, angry people. He was able to divide people. That's how powerful he is. And the relationship to that, I brought it to Robert Moses in New York City back in the days. He was able to transform the landscape of New York City, and the mark of Robert Moses is still present with us. That's how powerful he is. People of God, God would say, my people perish because they lack knowledge. And knowledge would give way to understanding, and that will give way to wisdom, to be wise as the serpent. But as long as we are not wise like the serpent, he will divide our spoils, he will take us like prey, like the Assyrians, and he will enslave us perpetually until we understand, until we gain knowledge, and until we receive wisdom. So friends, family, truth seekers, if you really are, was Moses a sorcerer? And who are the biblical sorcerer? Are they really sorcerer? Or it is a misinterpretation, or the sorcery is the interpretation blinding our eyes so that we can't see the truth and rise up like true sons of God, meaning we are sons of this universe too. We are sons of the soil too. We have a part to play. We have a piece of the pie to get. Do you still believe in sorcery?